bit for you guys. Alright, here we go. Hello, this is Purge bringing you guys Game 2 of Navi versus GL. This is for Division 1 of the GosuLeague, and I'm joined by WhatIsHip. You excited for Game 2?
Man, I'm so excited for Game 2. Hopefully we'll get some sweet picks like last game, and we actually see Respect Ban on the Undying.
Oh, it's a hard hero to deal with, man. Tombstone is so scary early, and even then, I wouldn't say that was like an Undying stomping face by any means, but Undying in the laning stage is just a pain to deal with because of Tombstone and Decay and Solar. He's so difficult to kill, and he also has tons of offensive potential. He can go both ways.
Yeah, I think the build he opted for, he went for mostly Tombstone and a couple levels in the Soul Rip. He avoided the decay. Oh my god, can't say that word. But when you don't get the decay, it doesn't make it as apparent when you're winning the lane because people aren't just like losing health. But as soon as you pop those tombstones down, the level 4 tombstone, the supports just die so fast, the zombies, and he was able to get some nice heals with the Soul Rip as well. We saw a couple fights where maybe saved someone, but it worked really well for them last game, and they're not going to get a chance to play it again. Fleshrack and Bounty Hunter. Instead, they're going to be their first two heroes.
Yep. Fleshrack Bounty Hunter gives him a long lane solo as well as a support. We'll most likely see RSR playing Lesh and Light of Heaven on Bounty Hunter. I assume they're going to go for a mostly different strat here. Probably something pretty safe, maybe some pushing, especially with the fact that they drafted Leshrack already. Maybe kind of like the crux of their pushing lineup, and then they can adjust things based on opposite things. I was going to say maybe they'll grab a Lone Druid, but Lone Druid already grabbed for GL, doing a Rubik and a Lone Druid for them. So, going to have decent pushing, and once again, a solid solo mid.
Yeah, and Lone Druid is not a hero that's been as common lately. He was pretty common for a while in the push and then wait out your opponents and then push into their tier 3 strats, but we'll see how he does this game. Be interested to see where they lane him. I assume he'll probably go just straight into the offlane again, but
yeah,
a couple options. He can solo the easy lane extremely well, obviously, as well.
Our Brewmaster picked up next for Navi. That's their third pick. And bans going on next. Chen is going to be the first one, so I think this is a great ban. First of all, Navi has pretty good team fight at the moment because of the Brewmaster pickup. So if they do grab some pushing to go with their team fight, that's one of the best strats you could do, because then you could just force towers getting killed, the enemy team's scared to initiate because they know they'll get dropped if they do fight it. And that could be a problem for them. So,
yeah, absolutely. Having Brewmaster dive past you and just walk straight past your tower and then split is just, it's really hard to deal with because you can't really concentrate down those pandas at early levels, so they just stun you, they lift you up, they do a lot of damage. It's really frustrating to deal with, and Chen definitely would have assisted with that, and we see them banning out the Lycan as well, and I think both of those are really strong. Lycan is still one of those heroes. The thing about the nerf that they did is they haven't nerfed his pushing ability, just the fact that he can't jungle as well, so a lot of people aren't aware of that, so I think that ban is really smart.
Yeah, that's true. The Beastmaster ban next, actually, so it'll be another scared about the Dire team using that as a long lane solo. Since they already set on theirs, they don't have to worry about picking that up. Lycan actually banned a hero that Navi has been using a little bit. I didn't actually catch the games, but I saw that they were having some issues with it. Like, it didn't even produce super well results. Did you catch those games by any chance in Starletter?
I didn't. No, I didn't see them.
That's too bad. Okay. Very slightly nerfed. Moderately nerfed his... The main reason that Lycan was so good is because his ability to early jungle, and he can't do that as well anymore. He still can get equal farm rates in the later points of the game when he has Vlads, for example, and his wolves are still as good against heroes, but because the magic resistance is so much higher for the wolves, but about the same, but not as good at jungle. And I haven't seen a lot of other teams try him out other than Navi.
So. Yeah, no, you can't really. I think EG played around with it a little bit one game, but I think they ended up losing. But I don't know. I think he's still a good hero, just people haven't really found a place for him now that they haven't taken the opportunity to figure out what lane would work well for him. I mean, he's not a terrible offlaner with the wolves. You just have to be careful with them because they can die in like 2 right clicks. So we'll see. I'll be interested to see if he gets more popular again, but
yeah, I'm okay with him not being in the scene for a while. I've seen enough like that's how the game goes. They're like, you know what, I don't want to see Morphling anymore for like 3 months, and that's exactly what we're getting right now. And then maybe 3 months later he's gonna get buffed again, and then people are like, you know what, let's play Morphling, and then I'll be like, I haven't watched a Morphling game in a while, and then they're okay with it. I've already gone through that cycle so many times with Anti-Mage and lots of heroes like that as well. So yeah. Yeah, it's always fun to see the shifts. And Voker's surprisingly picked, despite receiving another damage nerf recently. Apparently, WhatIsHip, your mic is not working again in game. I think
Yeah, I just
there's a bug.
toggled it. There's bugs, but I
I'll
just
probably
toggled it, so
toggle
it should
mine
be
again
fine.
just to make sure, because I'm sure that it'll mess up. Let's give it a toggle. All right, here I'm gonna unmute you in game and say something. Hopefully I can hear you.
Test.
Yep, I can hear you echoing. Can you do that for me? Just make sure you can hear my audio in game.
Yep. Go for it.
All right, and they picked up Jakiro next from Navi. How is it? Can you hear it?
I think it's very, very quiet. I don't think I can hear it though. Try one more time.
Hello, 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 hello. Test hello. Solid? No?
I don't think so. Let me
What the
mute.
hell?
Let me mute Skype.
Oh my god.
Okay, talk now.
Hello, hello, Test Jakiro. He's a great hero. Nothing?
Wait,
Alright.
one more time.
You can't hear anything? You literally can't. Not in game? Alright, I'll toggle it again. Off, on. Okay, test. Yes? No? Anything?
Ah, it's working now.
Okay, jeez. I was like, I turned it up in the last game. The audio's gotta be better. Ricky is the last pick actually out of GL, so they're using a Ricky against a Brewmaster, which is a pretty solid choice. If you can prevent him from splitting off, that's excellent.
That's a nice way to deal with it. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Who knows? Shakir gonna be picked up as well for Navi, and he's a hero that I think has definitely deserved his spot now in competitive play. With his new buffs, it's so much harder to deal with. I mean, basically his ice path is a guaranteed stun now. It's unless you have like a blink, it's almost impossible to get away from it.
It's really good, for sure. You can do some juking. Pugna actually drafted for the last pick. Very good against heroes like Invoker. I think the main reason they picked him up, though, was actually against Rookie as well as Lone Druid, completely reliant on right clicks, as is Nature's Prophet. So, what they can do in teamfights, they can just decrepify the bear, and then the bear can't even attack for like a good, 3.5 seconds at max level. Dandy playing Pugna, so it's going to be a solo mid Pugna, a hero we don't see very often, and just a treat for you guys. Bam. Didn't even forget my overlay. Nothing interrupted at all.
Oh man. Cool. Hopefully everything's working now.
Alright, cool. Alright, let's hop into the game. Once again, people are asking about this. My name's Purge, I'm here with WhatIsHip, both GosuGamers casters, and we are watching the Gosu League. This is a Division 1 match. This is game 2, first game advantage going to Navi. So we're getting at least 1 point today, and I'll go over the players. For Navi, we have Light of Heaven playing the Bounty Hunter. Hovos is going to be playing Leshrak. Arzard, also known as Smile, is going to be playing Jakiro, and the final two players, Dendy playing the Pugna and Puppy on the Brewmaster.
And for Gamers League, it's going to be Quicks on the Lone Druid this time, not grabbing the Rubik. It's going to be CHW on the Rubik. Phalix again going to be playing the Nature's Prophet. Dement playing the Invoker, and Sky on the Ricky.
So we'll see where he goes with his Invoker build. 3 Ironwood Branches, 2 Tangos, and 2 Clarities. This looks like an Exort build, like a very long duration Exort build, but why is he going to the top lane? Is this a support Invoker? This kind of looks like a support Invoker. His base damage is so bad now. God, 38 to 44. It like forces you to be Exort.
Yeah.
If you want last hits. If you want to be an effective last hitter. I think he's just going to be pulling. He doesn't have a Clarity, or an Observer, no, a Sentry Ward. He does not have a Sentry Ward, so he will not actually be able to pull if there are wards here. But it doesn't look like Light of Heaven has one, so I think Light of Heaven's going to be fine. Just put some hits on the bear. And in terms of Navi, we have Havost. I guess it's going to be a Havost farming with Arzard support. I assume Puppy is going to be pulling the small camp, and that's what it looks like. He's currently killing all the trees with this Quelling Blade. So he'll be pulling mid. Dendy's going to be soloing mid, and yeah, then a dual lane bottom. So, interesting.
And Havost just stunned one of the treants in order to let him pick up the regen.
Really worthwhile play there.
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, Arzard's trying to slow down the treants as much as possible. He does not want to let them pull the creep away, but they're actually a little too late. You can't actually deny the creep or the rune as well as doing this. If he kills them relatively fast, he's got 20 seconds, he can't interrupt the pull, so Arzard's got to kill these as fast as possible. And it is actually a bear mid, so Quicks with the bear mid versus Dendy. Dendy has not skilled yet. He's going to wait to point skill once he needs to, and he went 4 Ironwood Branches with a salve. Interesting skill build here. He's going to use Blast to get the last hits. Try to pick up both, but only gets 1.
Yeah, and he'll have a pretty quick bottle.
Now, you know what's really weird is the fact they picked Ricky, even though that Navi already had a Bounty Hunter. That was weird.
That's true.
It's not the biggest deal in the world at super high level of play, but because you're still going to have sentries anyways, but it does give them options. And not to mention track versus a lone druid, also very good. You can run away from that a lot easier this way. So it's going to make things weird. Vos getting free farm on the bot lane. He's doing a nice job here. +4 to all stats. Ours are doing a double pull. Using a tango. Very, very effective strat. And he's actually looks like he's maxing out Liquid Fire first. He knows that this lane is undefended. And this is actually pretty smart because they have a Leshrac and a twin-headed dragon. They can both deny or push towers very, very effectively. So once he gets to level 3 here, he can get a second Liquid Fire and get lower cooldown on the Liquid Fire and be able to take out the tower a little faster.
Yep, and now Dendi using his salve up in the mid lane as his bottle walks out from the corner.
Yep.
Light of Heaven's actually going to have to be really careful in this top lane. If he gets lifted and then the Cloud follow-up as well, it could be pretty ugly.
That's true. It is going to be a little scary for him. I agree with that. But he does have a poor man's shield at least, so he'll be blocking at least 20 hero damage per hit. Obviously, this isn't going to stop that much backstab, but I don't know if it's applied before or after backstab. If after, then obviously not a big deal. But Light of Heaven now going to go find Dement, who is pulling, of course. He was a little late, of course, to grab the XP, but he's going to trade hits with Dement. He can do this very easily. Dement actually hasn't skilled a single level of orbs yet. He hasn't picked anything. Now popping some tangos, putting some hits on a Light of Heaven. But this is something cool that you can do as a bounty hunter in the early game. You can actually just kind of contest that stuff. Pushing going on bottom with Havos as well as Arzard. It is the second level of Liquid Fire, and Puppy also contesting the wave. Level 2, 1 level of Clap and 1 level of Drunken Haze. Look at the damage output, man. So much damage on the tower. Can the Treant stop the last hitting? I don't think they'll deny this. Oh, that was scary for a second. I thought the Treant was going to deny it. It was so low.
The hero Treant.
Yeah, dude. Hero Treant. 2 levels of decrep on Pugna now. He grabbed a Poison Orb on the Spirit Bear, actually. Really is interested in harassing. And Light of Heaven checking for... No, not even Rune. Just kind of hanging out in the jungle. Any orbs? Yeah. Dement does grab Quas, so he is going for a Quas Invoker. Quas Support Invoker. 5 last hits for him. Bot tower still being pushed, Liquid Fire being used again, and Vos' Edict is now at level 2. Puppy really wants to fight this. He actually doesn't have any HP regen at all, so he can't take that much here. There's an Ice Path, might follow this up. Need a stun and Phaelitz to get the kill. There's the first slow. They might got it's gonna have to land it. Oh, it's gonna miss. Great dodge from Phaelitz. That keeps him alive. He would have died there pretty sure.
Yeah.
Would have had a clap. 25% movement speed reduction is probably enough at these levels to score the kill. But they're all out of mana now, actually. So kind of a big loss there for Navi.
Yeah, and Gamers League has not even... Oh, there's the first sentry as soon as I say that. And there's the Cloud as well. And now Light of Heaven is so low. 57 health. He's running away. We'll see they pop another sentry down. It's going to be out of range. And he is going to escape just barely.
Bounty Hunter knows... or Ricky knew which way he was probably running, but he gets out of range. Pops himself. He has boots as well. That's probably the main reason that he survived. He was able to farm boots. Ricky Mara didn't even pick up his boots yet, so by picking up his boots already, he was able to get out of the smoke cloud a little faster. Dement going to try to force him back. Currently level 3. They'll just right-click the tower, though. Should be able to pick it off. Light of Heaven won't be able to deny this. It's not safe. You can't go for it. And tower does get killed, so top tower is killed. Navi's still pushing bottom, though, so no loss there. They're now even on towers. If you check mid lane, Denny's at 18 last hits versus 15 on Lone Druid. Part of that is because of the denies on the small camp. And now he's going to take a little farm. It's nice that Puppy did this for him as well. Stack the small camp so that Denny can come over here later, just put a double blast down and pick up a little extra EXP. Always good to do this. And now that's going to give him level 6.
And he picks up the Life Drain.
Life Drain is good.
Ricky's got a lot of farm. A little worried for them.
Yeah, he's got treads. 24 last hits. He's doing pretty well. He's in the lead. 5 minutes. This is great last hits. But I also think that Navi has some advantage because Light of Heaven has been getting a lot of EXP in last hits as well.
That's true.
For a long lane, he's not doing bad. Nature's Prophet is doing worse. Only 7 last hits for him. Arzard is now level 4. Havos is level 4 with Phase Boots, actually. So, and Puppy's doing okay on EXP. EXP kind of low this game, though. There has been a lot of pushing from every single team.
Yeah, and Navi's already taken the tier 1 and the tier 2 in the bottom lane. During that fight, they finished up that tier 2, and when you have Leshrac and a Liquid Fire Jakiro, it does not take very long to push towers at all.
That was a really nice play by Denny in the mid lane. I thought he was going to die for sure, but he decrept himself. Which stops all cold snap damage because there's nothing else to hit you. This bear is down to 46 HP. He's going to have to resummon that one. Decrep is very nice against the Lone Druid. There's a Blink Forward and Light of Heaven. He's going to be within Sentry Ward range. Can they get the telekinesis? Nope. It's going to be absolutely fine. So yeah, Dendy doing pretty well mid. Picks up a Ring of Regen. I assume this is going to be a mech. I think mech is a great choice on Pugna. Pugna has the highest int gain in the game, which means he's going to have crap loads of mana in the mid to late game. It is a headdress, so that means that even without an Arcane Boots, you can actually afford to use mech while still team fighting. So Very crucial item build. Kind of similar in playstyle to Ancient Apparition in some ways. You're very squishy early. You have a lot of kill potential, but you have to be careful.
Absolutely. And CHW now looks like they're rotating over to maybe try to make something happen on Dendy. He's going to have to get up and get the telekinesis, though. See what he can do. Oh, the courier's there, too. TP coming in from Phalitz.
Might have to blind Sprout. Sprout's going to miss. Dendy's going to be able to get out from that one. That was a blind Sprout. He did not have the guaranteed initiation. Puppy actually walks in to try to fight this, but he's surrounded by 4 now. He's going to put a clap down as well.
Puppy's only level 3.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do a support pull lane Brewmaster. You do get behind. It's not nearly the same as other laning styles usually.
Wow, phase boots already for Light of Heaven. This lane's going about as well as you could hope for offlane Bounty Hunter against what he's got. It's going well.
People are still saying we can't hear sound in games. Might have to toggle again, I guess. I'm not sure what's going on. There's another stun actually going to land on 2. They might be able to fight this pretty well. Havos comes from the opposite side. Big damage going on Nature's Prophet. And even able to pick off the lone Druid, surprisingly. Big double kill for Dendy on the mid lane. Looks like the tower's going to get picked off as well. Very easily. What's the level of Liquid Fire? Deny. Oh my god, he got the deny.
Wow,
Dement.
hero.
Such a good deny. And one of every single orb here wants to be able to cast every spell, I guess. But man, that deny was insane.
That was a extremely talented deny. And I'm impressed. Man, I just toggled it again and it worked. And I'm just going to keep you on in game so I know if something weird happens. So we're good.
Okay, that would be appreciated. So, yeah, Cold Snap goes on a Vost. It's going to be pushed back as well. Dendy with a buckler and a headdress as well. Very close to his mechanism. And top lane still being pushed a bit by the Light of Heaven. He's got phase boots, maxed out Janata, so he's going more for the farming, ganking route. Not necessarily the burst damage with Shuriken and Toss, which is it's definitely doable. I think the slow is a little bit more important for their lineup. They don't have that many disables, so. And really weird skill build by Jakiro actually goes for a second dual breath now. But he doesn't need to push extremely hard. They just kind of wanted it for the early pushing stage. Little
yeah,
extra
at this
pushing.
point, I think it wouldn't help them that much. If they're going to get the tower, they're probably going to get it, whether he has 2 or 4 levels of Liquid Fire. In the early levels, that's extremely helpful, though. The rate of the farm on the Riki has slowed down pretty dramatically. Now he's only at 34 last hits. Haven't seen him pick up anything else since he's gotten those shreds.
Yeah, that's pretty severely delayed. He's level 6, so he's sitting mid. I guess he doesn't really feel safe about farming. Top tower's going to be pushed quite easily. Pugna, if you guys forget about this, Pugna is a very, very good pusher. We're using Nether Blast. It does about 100 damage to towers. Pugna getting the last hit. Mid tower's being pushed as well from the Dire team. Sky takes some hits, actually from Havost, going phase into Drum, so max movement speed on Lesh with all around some great stats.
And we'll have to see. Navi looks like they might be thinking about continuing here, but Gamers League is rotating in. Oh, they're ready for this fight. Put down the Sentry Ward preemptively as well.
Oh wow, they find Sky. Easy kill there. That was Blast Decrep with a dual breath. Super easy.
He died. That was a really smart Sentry Ward, though. Put it down right away. They saw them rotating up because of that lane they have in ward in the in lane in the mid lane. Navi uses a lot of lane wards like that, and I think it's really, really smart. It gives them a lot of extra vision to set up kills like that.
Yeah, and very, very unlikely to get warded as well. And that's basically the main path where they leave their base to go for ganks as well. So even if somebody's safely farming top, Phalitz may die at bottom. There are creeps here though, so they're going to stop a lot of the Edict damage. Here comes the stun, it's going to land on the vote's going to try to get this kill, but here comes a couple right clicks. Phalitz might TP out in time. Oh my god, he survived. Holy crap. I thought he was dead. Yeah, I thought he was dead too. Vavos is upset about that one. Really bad luck. I thought he had that one. Guaranteed kill. Dement take, or I'm sorry, this is actually Dendy taking some damage. Pops the decrep bottle as well. Man, this support Invoker, I just don't think this is a really viable way to play Invoker. Very weird picks.
Especially because he's only level 5. I mean, now he's 6, but the thing about Invoker is you need to get those levels up to make your spells more powerful and have a better options than what you want to use. And he has 3 levels in Quas, so really the only spell that's going to get a huge advantage out of that is going to be Cold Snap. I guess Tornado lifts longer, but that's not really important. So I don't know. I agree with you. I don't think it's that great.
Brewmaster is level 6 though, so he will have his ulti for team fights. Navi getting stronger by the moment. Liquid Fire now maxed out, so 50% attack speed slow. If he can land this on heroes like the Bear, if he can land this on the Spirit Bear or hero like that, Puppy's just going to have to pop the ulti. Actually, he wants to grab Phaelitz with the kill. There's the Boulder. More right clicks on him. He looks pretty dead. He's going to cycle in this last second.
Oh, Puppy.
Okay. All right. He's alive. He should have been able to stop him. That was a kill that he should have gotten.
Puppy. That was irresponsible.
It's okay.
Yeah.
There's a track now on Ricky. Going after Dement instead. Needs a slow, but he will get to the high ground. Changing targets again. And they grab somebody. There's a decrep on Quips. Oh my god, the burst damage. Holy crap, he does so fast. Decrep plus the stun and a blast. It's just immediately dead there. So they pick off the kill either way. So did not get the Nature's Prophet, but they do grab a Lone Druid. I think that's worth it for an ulti. And they can still keep pushing, I think. It's how are there only 4 kills this game? What is going on? Pugna takes the top tower. I didn't even notice this.
We're out of all but one of the towers outside the base, and there's only 4 kills. It's crazy.
Man,
I mean, a lot of Navi's team just hasn't even been around these fights. Like, Arsart and Havost have kind of just been roaming around and killing towers, and it's working extremely well. Finally, we see Puppy fighting once he gets his ult, so it's been a bizarre game so far, though.
Yeah, we have a double mech actually on Navi here. Almost one on Jakiro. Oh, nice Ice Path actually. Gonna give him a second, but Cold Snap on Arzard stops his follow-up. Light of Heaven might be able to initiate on Dement. He will be able to. See if he... Nope, no track just yet. We'll see what happens. Probably will sell the Buckler, of course. But yeah, since Dendi has the mech already, not worth it all. One Nether Ward on the low ground. AoE is not super huge. It did recently get buffed in 6.76, but the patches have not been applied just yet. And they go high ground using some illusions to tank this up. They are not backdooring this tower, so they're doing full damage here. There's another clap on Sky, actually. Lowers his HP a bit, and huge Edict damage, of course. And there's the glyph last second, but Edict was pretty much already out at that point.
Yeah, that was a little late on the fortification. Usually you want to try to use that fortification to stop everything, but now Dement is caught in the Ice Path, gets brought down immediately. The burst damage from Navi, they have so much magic damage. Decrep not even used on that kill. And now they're just killing the racks at 13 minutes. Okay.
It's only 13 minutes? Man, this game feels really long for some reason. And they've got the team fight to do it. I mean, they've got the mech, they have the Liquid Fire. Good game, well played. Wow, they are done already. They don't want to fight it. I mean, that was 5 kills, but the racks happen. And if you get 13-minute racks, you just can't do anything about it. And I think it was largely the heroes that were picked for the Dire team. There's just like not enough stuff that they can do with it. They have a Nature's Prophet who's largely based off of farming items and right-clicking. Lone Druid needs at least some items before he gets damage. Ricky Maru is the same, and then they just have Rubik. I mean, they're only nuke damage. They have 1 nuke in the game, and it's literally anything Invoker's working with and a Fade Bolt from Rubik. That's the only nuke damage they have. So, like, what are you supposed to do? And I don't really blame them for giving up now. Like, that Navi knew it. They, like, look at the heroes we have and look at what they have. They have no burst damage. They have very little utility. They need a lot of farm to be useful. And it's not worth playing this when you get 13-minute racks. I mean, maybe if they would have been able to farm up for the next 10 minutes or something, they could have gone for it, but...
Yeah, they already had a 12k gold advantage at the end of that game. Like, 10k before they even pushed in the racks area, and...
Wow.
They didn't let anything happen, basically, during the entire laning phase. They kept the pressure on and made the heroes move around. Invoker never got any levels, had this really weird support build, and that was a pretty successful game for Navi, I would say.
Yeah, they tried to gank Pugna a couple times, but Dendi evaded it every time. They missed Sprouts, he decrept himself and got cold snapped. Every time that they did end up roaming. It was like Pugna was the perfect counter against that, strangely. Ganks with Cold Snap and Lone Druid. So it was like Cold Snap plus Lone Druid with an Entangle would normally kill anybody. But not Pugna, because he just decreps and it's all over. Like, very unusual that worked out. And I mean, I think they really did need those ganks to happen for them to get any level in EXP and gold advantages that game. So it didn't happen. So yeah, that's it. Good game is called. That's going to be a 2-0 against GL. So Navi gets 2 points. They have 2 matches coming up tomorrow. Make sure you guys come back. The first one starts at 18 CET. I'm going to be casting that for sure on my channel here. Greg, any shoutouts for you?
Yeah, check out my website at WhatIsHip.tv. And WhatIsHip TV on Twitter. And also go check out GosuGamers for more information on this tournament. Like Purge said, there's going to be a game tomorrow at 18, and I think there's going to be 2 at 20. 2 Navi games, 18, 20, and then I forget who the other one is. But all the games are going to be really, really good tomorrow, so definitely tune in for those. Yeah,
if I take a look at that, the other 2 games at 20 are GD versus Shakira and MYM versus Dare. So those should be some awesome matches as well. I believe Shiver and maybe somebody else are going to cover those. at least. From you guys, you can go check out my websites, purgegamers.com. Follow me on Facebook or Twitter at purgegamers if you guys want to see when I'm streaming. I always post when I'm streaming, so if you don't want to miss it. Another way you can also catch me always streaming is follow me here on Twitch TV. You can do that as well. I'd appreciate that. And I think that's about it. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll be back in a bit.